Hey everybody. So I was doing some reading in Ephesians chapter 4, verse 11 through 13. And it says, and these are the gifts that he gave to the church. He gave to be apostles, prophets, evangelists, teachers, and pastors. And a lot of people, I've noticed, it seems, a lot of church people are like, what are your gifts? What are your gifts? Are your gifts hospitality? Or your gifts, like, they have all these, like, there's a spiritual gift test that you can take. Like, I remember taking it as a teenager. And there's like a big long list of gifts. And it's nice because it helps with your personality. But when I read this verse, these are the gifts that he gave to the church. And over in Ephesians, over in Ephesians chapter 3, it says that God's whole purpose in creating was to use the church to display his wisdom in all of its rich variety to the unseen rulers and authorities in the heavenly places. So, if God's purpose is to use the church to display wisdom, and then in the next chapter, Paul tells us in verse 11, these are the gifts that he gave to the church. Apostles, prophets, evangelists, pastors, teachers. What do all those things have in common? Let's get our thinking brains on this morning. All of those things are about teaching and sharing stories. The story, the gospel story, your story, the story of salvation, about how you, a sinner, lived, believed, and are saved. And there's a verse in Revelation that says that we're going to save people by the word of the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimonies. The gifts that God gave to the church. Yeah, there's spiritual gifts like hospitality, being a good host. Like those are like, I don't even remember what else. Speaking in tongues. That's one. Interpreting tongues. Like, there's all these different gifts. People see pastoring as a gift, and it is. Pastoring actually is one of the gifts. Right here, it says it. But all of these other ones, they are gifts of the Holy Spirit. They're gifts that come from being around the Holy Spirit. He's rubbing off on you and making you more like him. But the actual gift is the apostles, because they did the miracles. They raised people from the dead. Like, Paul was getting bitten by snakes, like poisonous snakes. He was bringing people back from the dead. He was casting out demons. Like, all of the apostles, the ones who were there, saw it firsthand. They were a gift to us in the future, because we can look back and we can read these eyewitnesses of real humans who Jesus had gifted this power. That way we would believe the words that they teach us and the things that they tell us to do. Just like he displayed those same power and gifts, and they believed him because they saw the firsthand knowledge, And then he told them what to do, and they believed him because they saw what he could do. Then he's like, I gotta leave. I'm sending the Holy Spirit. Okay, apostles, it's your job to do what I did. That way they believe you the way you believed me. Bam, logic. Like, it worked for you, it worked for them. Y'all humans, y'all work it the same way. So then the apostles, there's the first gift. They did what they did. The book of Acts, you could read about the acts of the apostles in the book of Acts. It tells all about the things and the miracles and the things that they did after Jesus was resurrected. The next gift is the prophets. Scriptures, like, that still says we are going to have prophets in these end times. God is going to use our young men and women to prophesy and have dreams and visions. And so they are a gift. And the Bible tells us that in the end times there will be many false prophets who will come in his name. And that we have to use the wisdom from the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit is wisdom. Like, that's in the Bible. Like, read it. We have to use the wisdom from the Holy Spirit, the gift that we got, to discern. It's like a game. Like, God told us ahead of time. Like, okay, there's going to be truth and lies. I'm giving you the Holy Spirit. He can discern truth from lies. So, like, your job is to learn how to talk to him. That way he can teach you to discern the truth from lies. And, like, you get points and you can save people and, like, you go to heaven and, like then you don't like there's perks. But it's the ultimate purpose that he set this up was so that he could do what we are doing right now. Like, this was the game. It was a long setup. Like, it's been thousands of years to get to this point where Jesus died, and, like, the point at, like, after Jesus died and he sent the Holy Spirit, that was the purpose, because since that point, it's been on us. It's like volleyball. That goes back and forth too. I was thinking ping pong, but I said volleyball. We're like, the ball's in our court now. Like, it's like a back and forth with God. Trial, and he's like, okay, guys, try this. Oh, you messed up. Here, let me show you. Okay, now try it again. Oh, you messed up. Here, let me show you. Here, try it again. Oh, you messed up. Here, let me show you. And now we're like at the step where he's like, let me show you. But now the whole reason he wanted to make humans was because he wanted a relationship with us. He wanted more to love. Because he's so loving. He wants to share it and more. And so he wanted to create us so that we could learn to love him and choose him and have a relationship with him. And then by doing that, he is truth. God is truth. And so, like, if you're going to try to learn to identify counterfeit bills, and you're going to go to training for it, they don't train you with counterfeit bills. They train you with the truth, the real bill. This is a real $100 bill. Let's study it. Study the true one. Study the truth. Get to know it so well. Have a relationship with it. Like, get to know the intricacies, why it's the truth, what makes it the truth. What, like, ask questions, be curious, invest. And then when you're brought a counterfeit, when you're brought a lie, you're like, oh, no. You don't even have to touch it a lot of times. You can see it from a mile away because you are so close with the truth. So close with God that you can detect a lie. And it's our job as Christians, as the church, as the body, to use this wisdom that the Lord gives us during our time of relationship with him and to share this with the body. One of the other gifts is evangelists. When you have a relationship with God, and you're talking to him and reading his word and struggling through the hard things in life and saying, God, I scared. This doesn't look good. This doesn't look good. Like, I have faith, which is why I'm coming to you, Lord, and asking you questions because I know you have the answers. But, like, what's going on? Is it me? Is it them? Is it, like, what's going on? And then he leads you and guides you and teaches you. And if you're open to that, you will learn and grow. And then you can do what the evangelists do. You can go and tell your story. You can evangelize the gospel story, the good news. Because the good news is we're all forgiven. And he loves us. And he just wants a relationship with us. That's the good news. Like, there's no rules. There's no dogma. There's no religion. There's relationship. What it has been the whole time. Like a loving father wants with their children. When your children are young, it's hard to have a relationship because you have to discipline them. You have to teach them right from wrong. And then they become an adult. And you hope that when they're an adult, you have disciplined in a loving way so that their adult mind, as it's growing and it has learned to understand more complicated situations, you hope and pray that you did this in a loving way so that they can see you are trying to protect them. And that the rules that you put into place weren't because you were trying to control them and you didn't want them to have fun. It was because you created them and you had been around longer and you knew that jumping off the stairs head first because you want to be an ostrich is a bad idea because you're not an ostrich and ostriches don't jump off stairs. And going head first is always, it's almost always a bad idea. And like you know things with your adult mind that kid just don't know yet. God's the same way. He wants that relationship. And when you have that with him and he can teach you, you can then share your learning, your experience with other people. And then you'll have the truth and you'll have examples, just like the apostles did. The apostles had real world problems in their time, and they worked miracles through the power of the Holy Spirit and through teaching and preaching the truth. And we can do the same things. God can work miracles in our lives the same way he worked miracles back then. It's 2024. What do your miracles look like? The next ones are pastors. Pastoring's a full-time job. Another way to share your story, your experience, your relationship. I don't personally want to be a pastor. It's very structured. I'm not very structured. Maybe I could use some structure, but like, I like to go with the flow. Like, God got plans. God got plans. I just follow him. Then there's teachers. I'm good at that one. Like, I like that one. Anyone can be a teacher. And I've learned that the more you try to teach, like, people get scared to teach because they feel not confident, because you have to really know your stuff in order to teach. I've learned when the Holy Spirit teach you something, like, he teach you, get on there and share it. It tells us in the Bible that what he reveals to you in secret, to shout from the rooftops, because he reveals truth and light and goodness and love. And this dark world needs that. So when he reveals something to you in the dark, don't keep it a secret. Don't hide your light under a bushel. Don't put your light under the table. You put it on the mantle. You put it on the hill. You shine it for all to see, because the truth that he's changing your life is the miracle. The truth that he's showing up when you're alone is the miracle. The truth that he's still alive and moving is the good news. And it's our job as the church to use these gifts, whatever one you've been given. You're not an apostle, obviously, because you're born nowadays. You could be a prophet. You could be an evangelist. You could be a teacher. You could be a pastor. Ask God. Ask him. That's part of having a relationship. He's given you gifts, and the purpose of the gifts is to show off his vast wisdom in its rich variety. That's why we all have different kinds of wisdom. We all have different things our brains are interested in, different things we love to learn, different hobbies, different things we enjoy doing with our time. That's God's wisdom in its rich variety on display for all to see. He's given us all gifts. Don't minimize your gift because you don't know how he wants to use it. The Lord is your shepherd. You lack nothing. You're a special utensil. If you keep yourself pure, he will use you for special, specific work. You were created for a special job. You're unique. He has a plan for your life. The question is, do you believe that his plan is the most loving? Do you believe that he knows what's best? Do you believe that he's trying to lead you to green pastures? Because if you believe the truth, if you believe the story, if you believe the Bible, it's hard to let go of control. I struggle with it every day. I go to God crying. I don't know how to let go. Help me, help me, help me. And I remember the prayer of the man asking Jesus to do a miracle for his son. And he said, if you can do it. And Jesus goes, if I can do it, it's if you believe. And the man said, I do believe. Help me in my unbelief. Because he wouldn't have been there if he didn't believe Jesus would do it. But yet at the same time, it seems so crazy. It's hard to believe. But like he did believe because he was there. He showed up and he was asking. So he was saying, help me in my unbelief. I'm here. I'm asking. I have faith. It's only the size of a mustard seed right now. Help me in my unbelief to grow that so that I can tell my story, so that I can tell your story. I love you guys. He loves you more. Share your story. Have a great day.